Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew described the so-called peace program set up under the former Team Unity government as a corrupt program, although the initial intentions were good. Speaking in the National Assembly sitting of 19 December 2023, Dr. Drew spoke of an itemized category called on-track cash wages of the program. According to Prime Minister Drew, who is also the Minister of National Security, the peace program was being corruptly misused.
Let me pull our country's attention and this honorable House's attention to use of funds, a part here called untracked cash wages. Untracked. Nobody knows where this money has gone. Untracked. Cannot be traced, Madam Speaker. Down a dark hole. Disappear. Poof. He gone. That amount, Madam Speaker, $22,244,810. Does the member from number 5 know about this money? He said he knows about the program. Does he know about the $22,244,810? Gone down a dark hole. Poof, he gone. Let me say it in fancy terms, Madam Speaker. Untracked cash wages. Madam Speaker, this is the program that he's talking about, that he knows everything about. He himself has said it. The member from number 7 has also said it. This is what is happening. This was used to embezzle money, hide money, fill the pockets of politicians and their cronies, Madam Speaker. This objective wasn't to bring a long-lasting peace and to rehabilitate anybody. Had persons been rehabilitated, you think the condition could have researched? Never. That is what the program was used for, and that is why we are saying the government has to get back its $22 million plus, and we know more is missing, Madam Speaker. And then coming to tell the country about this program. This program was setting us up to destroy the fabric of our society. I remember talking to the Prime Minister of Jamaica, and he said to me, PM, don't go down that road. He said, do not go down that road. Don't do it. I'm speaking from Jamaica's experience. Warn me. And that is why, Madam Speaker, we are saying that this is not the answer. This has been a corrupted system that embezzled money, robbed the country of tens of millions of dollars. And had the money been really spent in a legitimate program to rehabilitate people, people would have been rehabilitated.
Prime Minister expressed the view that the program would have been detrimental to the country if continued. He announced in Parliament that the program's replacement, Elevate, will be launched on Thursday, 21st December 2023. Glenn Bart reporting for Skn Newsline.
Police are investigating a shooting incident that left a man dead. The incident occurred on Monday, December 18th along the Island Main Road in Old Road between 7:30 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. According to police responding to the scene, they observed a 22-year-old Glenville short boss cider of Buckley's St. Kitts laying motionless on the side of the road, with what appeared to be gunshot wounds to the body. He was examined and pronounced dead at the scene. The crime scene unit of the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force processed the scene and took some items of evidential value. An investigation into the incident is ongoing. Meanwhile, in another police report, the police have arrested and charged 24-year-old Niaji Holly Henry of Shadwell and 26-year-old Javin Pony Lake of Shadwell, each of 2 warrants for the offense of murder. The criminal acts, according to police, were committed on November 22nd at Upper Monkey Hill, St. Peters, and resulted in the death of 23-year-old Laquani James and 24-year-old Kevin Collins, both of Upper Monkey Hill, St. Peters. Mr. Henry and Mr. Lake were charged at the Bastia Police Station on December 14th. Their charges followed the 2 murder charges that were laid against Shamari Hanley on December 13th at the Bastia Police Station. I'm Andre Huey for Skn Newsline.
From all of us at the Ramada St. Kitts Resort, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Introducing St. Kitts and Nevis's newest TV channel, Television Caribbean, TVC Channel 40 on the cable's Ultra TV. TVC promises to deliver the finest in television broadcasting in St. Kitts and Nevis and the Caribbean, with some of the best local programs in news, sports, and entertainment. Join us for Insights, where we delve into the lives of our guests.
Let me see what happens if I put this to it. Big explosion, like, okay, note to self, don't do that again.
Or get in-depth analysis on Newsline 360. We have sports, entertainment, and inspiration. It's all here on TVC Channel 40 on the cable's Ultra TV, on TelTV Cable Network in St. Martin, and on our website www.tvcplus.live. TVC Channel 40. See the difference.
It's beautiful. He took one look at you and the angels started singing.
Another wonderful day.
What would you say about staying here for a few months or like a year, just so that we can be together again and just live and love and laugh and have fun and breathe?
Why are you hiding out on a little Caribbean island, singing in a beach bar?
When I came here, I was at peace, and I never left.
This is the beating heart of Nevis. This is what grounds me, what feeds my soul. It's where I found myself.
I hope your life here will be full of joy. Love this island, my son. She will give you more than you can imagine.
Get ready for a dazzling showcase of talent, intelligence, and beauty at the 41st edition of Aim Smith Miss Caribbean Talented Teen. Join us on December 30th, 2023 at 8 p.m. sharp at the St. Kitts Marriott Hotel. Experience the brilliance of delegates from the Caribbean nation, including Mr. Kyla Hart Johnson, representing St. Kitts and Nevis. Our special guest host, comedian Fat Man George from Grenada. Power Pack performances by Soca Super, Lucas H.E., along with other local and regional performers, accompanied by the Greenhouse Band. Get your tickets fast for $80 EC before December 25th, or pay $100 EC thereafter. Don't miss the chance to watch the show live on sknvibes.com. It's the 41st annual Haynes Smith Miss Caribbean Talented Teen, where stars are born. Special thanks to our major sponsors, First Federal Credit Union, SL Hosford and Company Limited, Open Interactive, and Timothy Beach Resorts. Join us and be a part of this legacy.
After days of debate on the 2024 St. Kitts and Nevis national budget, during which several members of parliament had requests for extra time to complete their presentations approved by parliamentary vote, one MP was denied his extra time request. During the 18 December debate in the National Assembly, MP Dr. Timothy Harris, representative of constituency number 7, requested extra time not exceeding 30 minutes to wrap up his presentation. The Speaker of the National Assembly placed the MP's request to the House for a vote. The result is that all MPs on the government side refused to grant additional time, and there were no other MPs on the opposition side present to vote. As such, the Speaker could not allow the MP for number 7 to wrap up his presentation.
What would be the normal response, Madam Speaker?
Honourable Member, you are out of time.
Yes. Could I be allowed, Madam Speaker, an extension of time to just wrap up?
Well,
please?
The question is that the member of St. Christopher 7 be allowed to speak for a further period, not exceeding 30 minutes. Those in favour? Those in favour? Honourable Member for St. Christopher 7. Honourable Member, in accordance with Rule 40 of the Standing Orders, the vote has to be put, the question has to be put to the honourable members, and there must be a vote in favour of extending the time. The question was put, there were no votes in favour, and so you will not be able to be given the allotted time in accordance with the rules. Respectfully, your time is up.
However, it has been noted that the denial of the courtesy of the MP to wrap up his presentation came after his presentation was interrupted by government-side MPs rising on points of order on several instances that were not valid points of order. According to parliamentary procedure, a point of order applies when rules and procedures are being broken and many MPs fail to apply the appropriate motion. Over the years, the point of order has been erroneously used in the National Assembly of St. Kitts and Nevis. Glenn Bart reporting for Skn Newsline.
Sexual violence is a bigger problem than gun-related violence in St. Kitts and Nevis, notes the advisor to the Ministry of Health and former Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Patrick Martin. Addressing what appears to be more reporting of sexual violence cases as presented by the police in St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Martin, in an interview with Skn Newsline, notes that focusing only on gun-related violence does not tell the whole picture of crime in St. Kitts and Nevis.
We have to look at violence in totality, the robberies, the burglaries, and also the sexual violence. And when you look at that, although the gun violence is an issue, but that's an issue within a certain culture, subculture. But from a wider societal point of view, we have bigger problems with sexual violence and people committing acts against property.
Dr. Martin suggests that the recent cases of sexual abuse reported by the police suggests greater work is being done to have these cases prosecuted and persons reporting more of these crimes to the authorities. He said this is a chronic problem plaguing the society even prior to independence.
It's a chronic problem. It goes back many years. Before independence, before statehood. It's a chronic problem. One of the indicators of the extent of the problem was a 36% teenage motherhood rate in 1976 and 1977. That is a measure of the attacks against young girls, all right? But the attacks are also against young boys. And as a society, we have to continue to work to get to the point where persons who are affected or believe they are threatened can continue to approach the authorities for safe harbor.
Dr. Martin told Skn Newsline that it will take a societal approach in dealing with the issue effectively, and it cannot rely solely on law enforcement.
We have to use the media, the wonderful platform, the Fourth Estate, to get this message out that the influencers who are seeking to speak only about gun violence, that's a distraction. It's not the whole story. And through the media and other public and private platforms, create safe harbors, safe zones, safe homes, places of refuge for boys, girls, women, and maybe men to go to, where they can get protective services and social care services. So we have to get to the point, the same way in which we talk about cannabis and LGBTQRS issues, with your help, the media's help, we will get to the point where we talk about this openly, talk about violence in its totality openly.
In a recently published court digest earlier this month, for January to December 2023, of the 30 cases listed, 7 pertain to sexual offences, of which 4 were offences against minors. Andre Huey, Skn Newsline.
From all of us at the Malice St. Kitts Resort, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Introducing St. Kitts and Nevis's newest TV channel, Television Caribbean, TVC Channel 40, on the cable's Ultra TV. TVC promises to deliver the finest in television broadcasting in St. Kitts and Nevis and the Caribbean, with some of the best local programs in news, sports and entertainment, Join us for Insights, where we delve into the lives of our guests.
Let me see what happened if I put this to it. Big explosion, like, okay, note to self, don't do that again.
Or get in-depth analysis on Newsline 360. We have sports, entertainment, and inspiration. It's all here on TVC Channel 40 on the cables, Ultra TV, on Tel TV cable network in St. Martin, and on our website www.tvcplus.live. TVC Channel 40. See the difference.
It's beautiful. He took one look at you and the angels started singing.
Another wonderful day.
What would you say about staying here for a few months or like a year, just so that we can be together again and just live and love and laugh and have fun and breathe?
Why are you hiding out on a little Caribbean island, singing in a beach bar?
When I came here, I was at peace, and I never left.
This is the beating heart of Nevis. This is what grounds me, what feeds my soul. It's where I found myself.
I hope your life here will be full of joy. Love this island, my son. She will give you more than you can imagine.
Get ready for a dazzling showcase of talent, intelligence, and beauty at the 41st edition of Skn Smith Miss Caribbean Talented Teen. Join us on December 30th, 2023 at 8 p.m. sharp at the St. Kitts Marriott Hotel. Experience the brilliance of delegates from the Caribbean nation, including Mr. Kyler Hart Johnson, representing St. Kitts and Nevis. Our special guest host, comedian Fat Man George from Grenada. Power Pack performances by Soca Super, Lucas H.E., along with other local and regional performers, accompanied by the Greenhouse Band. Get your tickets fast for $80 EC before December 25th, or pay $100 EC thereafter. Don't miss the chance to watch the show live on sknvibes.com. It's the 41st annual Skn Smith Miss Caribbean Talented Teen, where stars are born. Special thanks to our major sponsors, First Federal Credit Union, SL Hosford and Company Limited, Open Interactive, and Timothy Beach Resort. Join us and be a part of this legacy.
It's a double blow for farmers this evening as they continue to rack up losses due to heavy rains this weekend. The president of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, JAS, gave the update during Radar Jamaica's weekly review program, That's a Wrap. Karen Simpson reports.
JAS President Lenworth Fulton says farmers who suffered heavy losses last month have again been hit by heavy rains since Saturday night. Vegetables, melons and other crops are now at risk due to losses faced by farmers in St. Elizabeth. Irish potato farmers have suffered the most.
The Guysville belt, we call it, which covers the parish of St. Catherine, St. Mary and St. Anne, in that point where the three parishes meet, and down to areas like Claremont, Brittonville, Bamboo, going out into districts like Forest and so on, which are big Irish potato area. If you plant the Irish potato too late, say after the second week of January, you have like a 80% chance of meeting the drought that would damage your crop. So we are on the horn of a dilemma. And then people who have put back in vegetable recently, those would be also underwater. So we are in a really serious problem. We are hoping to return to growth in the agricultural sector in the first quarter of 2024. But with this rain here, coupled with the one that has just gone, it seems very ominous now that we will rack up another quarter of loss.
In the meantime, Mr. Fulton is insisting that the losses suffered by farmers during heavy rains last month exceed the more than $300 million announced by the Agriculture Ministry.
Well, the ministry published at 350 million, but that is for the damage done to crops. That does not include future values that the farmer would have lost and their loans that they have to repay. So we at the JS put it at an $800 million loss.
With the Christmas season in full swing, he is also urging farmers not to engage in price gouging, as it could trigger higher inflation, which could lead to problems for both consumers and farmers.
The supply and demand will always push the price up. And like any other commodity, when it is scarce, they push the price up. And that is impacted by extra demand for the product in Christmas. More money is around. So the big losers are the consumers. Although we want our farmers to make money, we do not want them to make money on the back of inflated product, because that inflation will run right through the economy, right through the next half of next year, and inflate the other prices. And as you know, we are not doing well with inflation. Up to November, the Bank of Jamaica said we were 6.1%.
Carrie Ann Simpson for TVJ News.
Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre has hailed the talks between the leaders of Venezuela and Guyana as a win for CARICOM. Presidents Nicolas Maduro and Ifan Ali agreed not to use arms against each other in a first meeting to reduce tensions over the disputed Essequibo territory. According to Prime Minister Pierre, he is happy that St. Lucia could have been part of the talks, which were brokered by CARICOM and the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States, CELAC.
I'm not sure whether many realize the repercussions of what could have happened if we didn't get at least to these two countries talking to each other. And I'm very pleased. It's a victory for CARICOM, because I think that the wars happen because people do not speak. And CARICOM got these two leaders together. Ended up with a great level of cordiality, and as usual, there's going to be a level of monitoring. They have agreed that if there were any things that happened, that they would have reverted to Ralph and Roosevelt and the representative of the government of Brazil.
The outcome of the talks has proven his position on the dispute as the right one, says the Prime Minister. The opposition United Workers' Party and its leader Alan Chasney have bitterly criticized his policy regarding the dispute between the two countries.
It showed maturity, it showed leadership, and it showed that when we sit and we speak to each other, we can achieve so much. Both President Maduro and President Ali must be complimented for the level of statesmanship that they displayed yesterday. You know, there had been many comments about what should have been said and what should not have been said. But I'd always taken the position, and I'm very happy that I have been, again, have proven to be correct when I took the position that we had to deal with that from a CARICOM perspective. Individual prime ministers should not have been going over the place saying whatever they want to anybody else. We took a CARICOM position. CARICOM stood firm under the leadership of Comrade Ralph Gonzalez and Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt.
The nation's leader believes that choosing the diplomatic approach of CARICOM has ensured a continued zone of peace in the region. For the DBS News World, I am Zane Romulus.
So when I was called on to make an individual rant, I refused. But I'm very happy that again, my policy or my position was proven correct.
Let's bring you some other world news now. A volcano has erupted in Iceland following weeks of earthquake activity. No casualties reported as authorities had evacuated a nearby fishing town. Now, these are live pictures you're looking at now. Volcanic eruptions common in Iceland, but still very difficult to predict. Axel Zaimovic has more.
This is the moment a volcano in southwest Iceland erupted, spewing lava and smoke in all directions. Molten rock and columns of fire poured out of fissures in the ground. It followed weeks of earthquake activity, and meteorologists had recorded more than 1,000 tremors in the 24 hours before the eruption.
That's kind of mixed feelings, to be honest. So, yeah, let's see how it goes and how long it lasts. It's still amazing to see, but yeah, that's kind of a bittersweet feeling at the moment.
The volcano is about 4 kilometers away from Grindavik, a fishing town in the south. Fearing a significant eruption, last month authorities issued evacuation orders for the 4,000 residents and closed a nearby geothermal spa. The meteorological office says the volcanic fissure is about 3.5 kilometers long, and lava is gushing out at a rate of 100 to 200 cubic meters per second, much more than in previous eruptions. Reykjavik's international airport remains open, although there are delays to both arriving and departing flights. Back in 2010, a volcanic eruption caused major disruptions across European airspace. Police are on high alert, and members of the public have been warned not to approach the area. Axel Zaimovic, Al Jazeera.
Joe Michalski is a volcanologist at the University of Hong Kong. He joins us from there. Thanks very much for being with us. So just talk to us, first of all, about what is it that's causing this particular volcanic eruption and why it's happening now?
Well, I mean, one has to understand that all of Iceland is composed of volcanoes, so it's not a huge surprise. The most active areas tend to be on a fissure system that goes from the southwest toward the northeast. That's where the tectonic plates are pulling apart and magma rises up from the upper mantle. So it's not a huge surprise, and this keeps happening periodically, and again, it shouldn't be a surprise.
And just to come back to the sentiments expressed by the tour guide in Axel's report there, these are some stunning pictures, and it is an incredible sight to behold, but it is going to cause and is already causing a great deal of disruption.
Well, again, it's really important to understand that with any kind of volcanism, the most disruptive, most dangerous part is related to the explosive activity. So when there's a lot of ash spewed out, that causes problems for airplanes, that causes problems for people on the ground as well. This particular type of eruption is a fissure eruption. That's what we call effusive. Effusive means the lava is pouring out and flowing over the ground. There is, of course, some ash, but it's not highly explosive, and that makes it less dangerous in general.
And how does this particular volcano and what it's doing compare with previous volcanic eruptions around the world that you know about, that you've studied?
Well, in this particular case, it's a fissure eruption. So there are a lot of other examples of fissure eruptions throughout Iceland. And so it just means that there are these big cracks that are big, what we call joints into the ground, and the lava will always rise up through the path of least resistance. It comes up through those cracks, and it's erupting along a whole fissure suite. So that means it's kind of a big eruption area. And but by and large, compared to some other examples in the past, less explosive. And so in that way, not a huge problem.
What is it about Iceland in particular that makes it prone to these volcanic eruptions? What is it what is it about this that is unique to Iceland?
Iceland's got a very special geologic context. It is an island mound right in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, where the tectonic plates are pulling apart. And because of that pulling apart, there's what we call buoyancy of the crust, where it is rising up through lots of magmatic activity. So the whole island is composed of volcanic materials and a very small fraction of sedimentary rocks that are eroded from those volcanics. But it's almost all volcanic material. It's just a unique setting. It's a really special place in the whole world.
Good to talk to you. Joe Michalski, thanks very much for being with us.
Thanks.
What little food there is often has to go a long way. What once was taken for granted has now become a luxury.
We're facing more than one war. We face the Israeli army with all the shelling and bombardment. We also face starvation. I have a family of 14 members. I'm suffering a lot to be able to feed them, and unfortunately, this in itself is another war.
A new report by Human Rights Watch accuses the Israeli government of the deliberate intent to deprive civilians of food, water and fuel. The government, it says, is using starvation of civilians as a method of warfare in the Gaza Strip, which the group says is a war crime.
We never faced starvation or food shortage in the previous wars. We've never been in tents before. The situation is very disgusting, in addition to the lack of food and water. We're human beings. Even dogs and other animals can't tolerate to stay where we are staying now.
Human Rights Watch says Israeli forces are willfully impeding humanitarian assistance, while aid agencies report the destruction of bakeries and grain mills, agricultural land, water and sanitation facilities. Since mid-November, after Israeli forces took control of farmland around Bet Hanun in northeastern Gaza, satellite imagery shows the systematic destruction of orchards, fields and greenhouses, all reduced to dirt. Civilians say food scarcity has driven prices beyond the reach of many.
Statements by Israeli officials spelling out in clear terms that their strategy or policy is to starve civilians as a tool of leverage to achieve political outcomes, whether it be release of hostages, the destruction of Hamas. Putting it all together, you reach the clear conclusion that the Israeli government is using starvation as a weapon of war, which is an abhorrent war crime.
Another necessity of life and an ever-dwindling resource. The World Food Programme says access to water in Gaza falls well short of the basic survival level requirement, adding thirst to hunger in a crisis of survival. Jonah Hull, Al Jazeera.
The Young Sugar Boys under-20 team won one of their two practice matches this past weekend against the British Virgin Islands, held at the Skn Technical Centre. The home side drew 0-0 in the first match on Saturday, which commenced at 5 p.m, but edged the visitors 1-0 on Sunday. Coach of the under-20 team, Alexis Morris, comprehensively assessed the team's performance over the two matches.
Tonight and last night, we came out here with just a simple goal in mind, just to ensure that we know that St. Kitts Nevis, if I must say, results for us have not been forthcoming, and so we just came out even though we would have just been training for, this is basically our 10th session, so it's pretty green. I just thought that we would just come out and do some simple things that we would have done in training. We would not have done a lot of things, but the simple things that we would have done, we basically came out tonight and tried to demonstrate some of the things. The BVI team, strong. Yes, they gave us a good fight, and it was basically, I think we wanted it more than them, and so we were able to get the goal on a set play, which was very clinical. We realized that even though they was big and they were not very good in the final two, they were not very good in the box, and so we thought that if we could have outjumped them, that we would have gotten something at the end, and it showed on that corner. Kaja went up and rose above and got the clinical header and got the go-ahead goal. So we're grateful, and like I said, some of the things that we worked on, I saw some of the things coming out, and so we just have a lot of work. We still have a lot of room for improvement.
Coach of the British Virgin Islands team, Clinton Tinney Percival, said this is the first time all the players on his team played together, and so far he likes what he sees.
Well, the way we play as a unit, even though we didn't train together, like I said, the English-based players, I like to see the camaraderie, the way we work together, and the way how they were communicating with each other and trying to play together, I think that's a good set for us, and it's for us to just technically now understand we need to get time with the whole team. You know, so along we get a little bit more time with the whole team, I think I'm really happy for what I'm saying actually.
These practice matches were in preparation for the upcoming CONCACAF Under-20 Championship qualifiers to be played in February 2024. Some of these matches will be held in St. Kitts and Nevis.